Welcome, everyone. Welcome to season 2 of Heart Talks. I'm so happy to be starting this up again. Today, I wanted to bring up our past guest, Vell Zimmerman. He has been such a big part of Heart Talks. And not only do I love you, but so many others love you. And thank you for your dedication and your sharing.
Absolutely. I love all as well. I am your brother. Thank you very much for having me and having your hearts open in this now moment. Great honor.
Well, we've gotten a lot of new viewers since you first were on the show, and I thought I would ask some questions to get them kind of caught up on what you're all about and where we're at in this time of our ascension process. Could you first tell us who exactly is the Galactic Federation?
Galactic Federation of Light contains over 200,000 star nations collectively from throughout the multiverse who have reached a point of ascension and realizing all to be reflections of the One. This realization and awareness comes with the ability to be of service to all those species throughout the multiverse who are approaching the threshold or transition that we're currently experiencing on planet Earth as a human species. And we work together in unity, in unison, in assisting those and providing guidance for all those who are open to a sense of coexistence, liberation, and the truth of peace, freedom, and justice throughout creation.
We're having some technical issues, folks, but when there's a lot of energy on the internet, we kind of expect it.
Understood. Am I coming through clearly?
Yeah, that's better. That's a little better. Okay, Vell, what is your part of the Federation?
I represent an aspect of a group consciousness, which is somewhat of playing a leadership role during this transition. I am an incarnation of Archangel Michael, Commander Ashtar, and the Ra Collective, and we are split commanders. I represent one in being an expression of a group consciousness that's here to lead the way, along with many others, of course, in realizing what it is to be Christed here and assisting those that are open to this transition.
All right. And are we all considered part of that galactic family?
Always a part of the one. There are specific aspects. To be more specific, the 144,000 incarnate extraterrestrials, which are known as star seeds in this dimension, who are from other extraterrestrial existences on other planets, who've had numerous lifetimes and much experience in this process, who are here, volunteered, and actually selected to be here in service to the species.
Are you getting it? Okay, I think that's a little better. We're having some real static. Okay, and Vell, who are we inside of these human bodies?
We are incarnations of the One, all aspects, different aspects of the One, and all being Prime Creator, all agreed to be here and experience the human experience where on actuality, Earth is one of 11 living libraries throughout this sector of the galaxy, and all who are here, either human incarnate, indigo, light worker, or starseed incarnates, are here to experience what it is we are experiencing in this current transition, this particular time frame that we're experiencing. It's the end of very, very long amount of cycles where the opportunity to activate the human body and allow for a Christed race, which is a full conscious race on this planet, to exist is being provided for all those who are open to evolve beyond the mind identity.
And who are the science and engineer staff that you speak of?
This is a sector of our galactic fleet that is one with the family of light, who created the human species, which is a mixture of several different DNA mixtures in the original configuration of the human body. The human body is not necessarily the first, or the humanoid form is not necessarily originated here on Earth. This goes back a very, very long time ago in the time to the Lyra constellation, but here, as far as human Earth humanity configuration was created by our galactic fleet for the experience for souls here on the planet Earth.
All right. And with this being an experimental planet, and all of us participating in this experiment of free will. All right. Free will is a tricky thing. Could you talk about free will in the broader perspective of how we could correctly be using free will?
So,
because I mean, in the beginning, it was almost like a curse, it seems.
okay. Understand that amongst creation is only order. So, as we understand, the experiment is something that we're trying and not sure if it's going to quote unquote work or not. Creation doesn't play dice. This construct or experience or unfoldment that we are experiencing is an aspect of the expansion of creation itself. So there are no mistakes. It's not a curse. It is an experience that is operating under the limitlessness or the without limitation when it comes to free will, where those amongst the species who are mature enough to make the decisions that are in alignment with the truth of the heart space, there is an expansion of that truth due to the glory that is who we are in truth, where free will allows the extremes because all have the ability to make decisions based in the extremes of separation and the extremes of unity. It's just that these extremes, this is somewhat of a double-edged sword, where in being the creator amongst a free will reality, we have the ability to create the abundance or experience an abundance of distortion, where you hear a lot of souls speak of the power of the human experience, and that's in alignment with us actually having the free will to make the decisions and embrace the power that is all of creation, which is the truth of ourselves. So it's about the spiritual maturity of the individual, and this is where free will can go in either extreme direction. It's just that this transition that we're experiencing is for those who have come to a point where they realize the truth within versus the abundance of illusion being shown or proven without. It's very easy to fall into what you see as and take it for face value versus what's taking place in the unseen reality within, which is actually the truth. And this is necessary to embrace where you actually have the maturity to coexist amongst the vastness of space with the power that you are gifted with, and actually use it maturely as you realize you're experiencing reflections of self.
Right. So in being mature about free will, couldn't we say that contrast is clearly a tool that we can use to choose a higher vibrational way or whatever?
Absolutely. And in actuality, as a creator, what we consider to be the dark is, like you said, a tool. It's a catalyst for our growth, where when we do things that are out of alignment, the effects of those decisions, those choices are rather apparent and sometimes can be very harmful. It's just that, of course, we are eternal. And when we make these decisions, some make drastic decisions where the life review that's experienced amongst the death or transition of the physical, one actually realizes and awakens to what they created for themselves, and have somewhat of a brief with the angelic realms in realizing what's necessary to clear and realign upon re-entry into the physical realm.
You know, this project, let's call this experiment our project, because as galactic team members, it is our project. And we all do have our parts in this. And what would you know, how does someone attempt to recognize their part in this galactic project?
This is all integrated within a person's intent. The intent, the joy, the things they enjoy doing, the visions that they have, the things that make them excited within. These are aspects of their own purpose, where the intent, the things that bring you joy, are playing a huge part in the interlocking or intermingling of all the souls participating in this grand mission. It's very vast in nature, and there are many, many parts where the mind will attempt to identify or label a person's particular part, or want to be able to have a title that goes with a person's part, when in actuality, this is something that is taking place on a very, very integrated level, where it's necessary to just be and continue to refine and embrace one's own presence through intent, and continue to allow that which is taking place to unfold naturally.
This project has been going on for a very long time, and as team members, it has taken us many lifetimes to get to this point here. And now we're all calling it ascension. A lot of us sensitives can feel everything that's going on. And my particular network of sensitives, we keep in very close contact with each other, so that we know when we feel a change in the energy, when we feel something open up, or feel a heavy energy, that we connect with each other to let each other know it's okay. This is part of the process. When we post about our sun flares, this is to let people know we are about to have our DNA awaken within us, and that there is physical feelings of this. And mostly what we want people to know is that there is no fear in this process, that it is a very natural and honorable process that we're going through right now. Can you talk about the honor of being a human on this planet right now?
This goes back to the reality of free will. And with that, there are various extremes that come with this particular experience. With those extremes comes a lot of power, and of course, reincarnating on Earth over and over again, it comes with a memory light, where we're not operating through memorizing or attempting to connect things. This is something that's always within the heart space. So it's compared, when you get into comparison, of course, always divine. There's no need for that. But here in the Earth experience, it is quite a task because of the various aspects, paths, and array of different frequencies that are being experienced here off of the strength of being a free will zone. Graduation or ascension in the human body vehicle is an activation of the Christ consciousness frequency and actually merging with the crystalline reality in the physical, where it's not about actually dying, you're actually transforming yourself right now, where you're sensing the lightness in your being, and your DNA structure is crystallizing at the moment. It's just a very delicate process that takes a certain amount of time and a lot of work from an individual standpoint when it comes to creativity, expression, balancing, emotional release, transmutation. These are all aspects of alchemy, which is taking place right now for those who are serious and focused on this particular process. So this is a very, very, very honorable experience to go through, because this is the greatest experience, the greatest achievement you could ever possibly do in this sector of space, in that Earth, the ascension of Earth is pivotal to the ascension of this universe, because the destiny of ascended Earth humanity is to actually assist a multitude of other planets in this sector of space and all throughout the galaxies in achieving such a process based off of our experience here in this free will realm of extremes, where other species might not be experiencing the same extremes, but off of the strength of our ability to go through this process, we have the ability and know-how and experience to go out as flagships and assist other planets, other species in the same process from an expert level.
All right. Tell us about the Agartha Kingdom. It just puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
It does. Vibrance. If I could pick an adjective to describe this particular realm, is vibrance, life coexisting, beings of all shape, form, sentient and non-sentient, crystal structures, fixtures. It's actually the realization of what the surface world will look like after the cleansing of the surface that we hear so frequently about, which is absolutely necessary because of the pollution and the amount of damage and wear and tear that we've created amongst our evolution. This will be the reality here. It's beyond comprehension. I could put a few things and quote feelings in word form, where there's dinosaurs and, you name it, it's there. Once again, planet Earth is a collection of various species from throughout this sector of space, where this operates as a living library, from the vegetation to the animal realms. We're talking about the galactics actually importing all of these various species to this one planet from different sectors of space, where this will operate as a living library for the vastness that you see when you look into the skies at night. This is what you're experiencing, all the colors, all the aspects of the Creator and the creations who are on this planet, connecting with 11 other planets that operate at the same capacity.
So it is essentially our guiding post, or what we are hoping. It is our what we are walking towards. It's our goal. It's the same as what people would say heaven on earth.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and where is Agartha?
Under your feet right now, or under our feet right now. It's there. It operates under or in a higher frequency level of existence. So it's not possible. I actually get this question a lot. It's not possible to just walk down into a Burgher or attempt to dig a hole in the ground, go to the top of the earth and get there. Like this is a higher frequency existence where it's necessary for you to vibrate at that particular rate to coexist in that particular way.
Right. So that's the idea. That's the idea of us raising our vibrations so that that becomes visible to us.
Well, it is visible. It's just that it's not possible to coexist there at present based off of the current frequency that we're experiencing.
Right. And is the entrance of that in the Arctic?
Several places. There's several different ports, several different entrances. Some of the famous landmarks or ancient landmarks, these are some of the temples in Tibet, North Pole, South Pole, of course, being both entries. A lot of people have heard of the Admiral Byrd story where he entered in and was actually elevated into that frequency so he could coexist and bring a level of awareness to humanity about that particular presence. There's, matter of fact, the Tibetans, Buddhist monks have been guardians of the entries into these realms throughout Earth. So they've played a part of this.
And are they considered our family?
Yes. The Agrarian Kingdom was set up and configured by the ancient Lemurians who existed prior to Atlantis. They migrated there and created the Paradise World as a safe house, safe zone, where the councils who manage Earth as entity Gaia and communicate with the council in the 8th dimensional base in Saturn, they actually work with these councils in reporting the status of Earth and Earth humanity's statuses. They'll send the masters. Like there's a network of organizations where, being that the surface has been asleep for such a long time and experienced this distortion, a lot of the communications from Earth to the councils to Solaris and solar logos and the organizations throughout the galactics have been communicating directly with the Alliance and the Lemurians in Burgher as representatives of and keepers of Earth humanity's evolution and the species evolution until it awakens this particular reality.
When did you know that you were connected in a way that you became so dedicated in being a messenger? It's never easy.
Yes, it's never easy at all. It's always been annoying within ever since a child. It's very, very strong, and I hear this a lot from a lot of people who feel something's going on that's bigger than what you've been experiencing and what you're being told. I've had this urge, this itch, almost like a twist in my chest, attempting to figure out life and what this all was about my entire life, where I came to a point in my growth as a young man and experienced establishing a life and establishing a construct for myself where I had a family and a home and a job and so on and so forth, and got to a place where I reached the end, or the precipice, if you will, where I was receiving a lot of money for what I did, and at that point I saw the distortions in the way things were operating, and it's like the sickness and the way I was receiving funds. And April Wednesday 2012 is the energy point that tipped me over the edge. I resigned, quit my job with the federal government, basically just went to nature to figure things out on my own. And the science provided for me to realize, at a deeper sense, what was taking place, along with many transmissions that I was reading and receiving, resonated. Eventually, the somewhere close to December 21st, 2012 is where I was contacted through my guardianship about my presence here and the gifts that I did have, along with my creativity, and it was necessary for me to continue to cultivate that at a deep level every day, where doing so allowed me to unfold a lot of information and all being awareness within to a point where I was able to do so on a daily basis. And once again, after 30 years of kind of getting by and making money and purchasing things and experiencing life in general, there was a lot of power there. I was aware of the abilities and the energy that was within. Where once I decided to stop making money in this particular way and realize the truth of this reality after experiencing so much distortion and drama, I used the power that I've had from day one on this planet to energize and focus every day, get up, take, exercise, create every day without a delay, just off the strength of personal integrity and focus and maturity.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you once again for sharing so clearly, so wonderfully. I'm sorry about the technical issues we're having. That's kind of common, and hopefully